Third time trying to film this video. Anyways, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cassandra here, and if you're new, I post videos all on beauty and lifestyle, just about anything that tickles my fancy. So today's going to be one of those videos that I guess kind of tickles my fancy and a review at the same time. I'm going to be talking about my experiences with natural deodorant, specifically native deodorant. Now the whole reason of me switching to a natural deodorant really had to do with me trying to get the health of my pits back to normal. I've been noticing that my armpits have been like super dark, obviously because I started shaving a lot more recently. I typically never used to shave my armpits. I used to use Nair, and here goes a siren, here goes a siren. Welcome to living in New York City, guys. Anyways, I used to use Nair a lot under my armpits. I got lazy, especially during this pandemic, and I started just shaving. So my armpits has just been really dry and irritated. And I figured, why not use something that does not contain aluminum in it and just restore the health of my armpits back to normal. I didn't switch to a natural deodorant based on any form of like research or me trying to like, you know, try something all natural or any of that stuff. It really was just about getting my armpits to not be as dry and irritated as it usually is, especially when I use an aluminum based deodorant. So with that being said, I did a lot of research on certain natural deodorants. I had a brush with natural deodorant maybe a couple years ago. I tried using Schmid's. I think that's the brand. I'm gonna leave it somewhere across the screen here. I tried that brand. Tried using it. I was not a fan. It left my armpit very irritated, and it also made my clothing, it turned the armpits of my clothing like really brown. I don't know what was going on with that deodorant. So I decided not to use that anymore. Went back to using regular deodorant, and then I decided to do some research on what was the best alternative for natural deodorants, and all the reviews that I've looked up led me towards trying the native deodorant. I actually really like this deodorant, the scent at least. I'm gonna talk about my experiences right now. So I got the native brand because that was what was highly recommended based on all the reviews and the videos I've watched on YouTube. I went in Target. I bought the jasmine and cedar one. That to me is like the best smelling scent to me. I adore the scent of jasmine. Jasmine and gardenia is like my favorite scent. So anything that contains jasmine or gardenias, I'm all about it. Now, so with the native deodorant, you get about 2.67 ounces of deodorant stick. It is in a regular stick, like a regular deodorant. It is it's more pricey than trying a regular deodorant, an aluminum based deodorant, like say Dove. A Dove deodorant would run you around average $7 in Manhattan, in New York City. Whereas the native deodorant, this came up to about $13, which to me was, it's pricey, it's pricey. As for the ingredients, it contains capric triglyceride, which is just like a compound of coconut oil, tapioca starch, sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. It got some coconut oil, shea butter, the jasmine oil in it, and it also contains cedar wood bark oil. So all the ingredients in this deodorant is all naturally occurring. It's more moisturizing than wearing an aluminum based deodorant, I will say that. And it's also a little bit, just a tad bit more oily in a sense of when you apply it. So when I use say a Dove deodorant, I spray it under my armpit, or I use a stick. It goes on and then it just dries really dry because it's basically clogging all your pores to prevent you from sweating. With this, it goes on really oily. I'm gonna put it on my arm right here. So it's very oily, kind of not oily. I don't want to say very, very oily. It's more like you're using like lotion under your armpits. It smells really, really nice. I actually really love the scent of this. I really, really love it. My biggest gripe with this is that when you're using a natural deodorant, if you're going to switch to a natural deodorant, it is not going to stop you from sweating. You will sweat, and you will sweat a lot, especially if you're just switching over to a natural deodorant. So as for my experience with this, I did some research and I was informed that you should do a armpit detox, which really entails you taking maybe a charcoal mask or any kind of bentonite clay mask, rubbing it under your armpits just to kind of like, I guess, open up your pores to release all the aluminum that's already under your pores, clogging up your pores before you start using that. So I did that. I did not have a charcoal mask and I wasn't gonna go out and buy one because I didn't feel like doing that. So I basically used my regular bentonite clay face mask. I put it under my armpits, let it stay there for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then I took a shower, and then I also scrubbed my armpits just to get everything out, and then I started using the deodorant really, basically. So the first 2 days of me using this, I will say that I was fine. Like, I knew I was gonna sweat, so I wasn't expecting it to be like, I wasn't expecting it to be keeping me from sweating, so I knew I was going to sweat. So the first 2 or 3 days, no, let me just say the first week of me using this, I was fine. I felt fine. It lasted me about, say, on average, maybe 7 hours before I had to reapply again, before I started like feeling like I need to put some more on. The scent is really nice. So you put on the deodorant. I put my deodorant on, and the scent itself lasts for about, like I said, about 7 hours. Every time I like would smell my armpits just to make sure, because like I said, I've had bad experience trying this before. I felt fine. I smelled fine. Now maybe in like week 3 of me using this, that was when it really started to get a little bit crazy. So like I said, a natural deodorant isn't gonna prevent you from sweating. All it does, it just keeps your armpits smelling really good. The problem is you start to get to know what your body smells like once you start using a natural deodorant. Now that may be a good thing or a bad thing. For me, I felt like it was just, it's not even like a bad smell. Like, my armpits wasn't smelling really bad. I guess, you know, when people talk about like the word pheromones and musk, that was what my armpits smelled like. It was musk. It smelled like musk, and if I didn't reapply it, that musk will turn into a stench. And it's not like a stench where it's like super smelly. Like, I didn't smell like a man or anything. I just smelled like what a human being is supposed to, like a human female is supposed to smell like if they weren't using deodorant at all. And I was not a fan of it. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like it at all. Like I said, I started using this in the beginning of May, so the temperature wise, it was very cool outside. I wasn't really sweating like that because I am a person that do sweat. I feel like I sweat a lot more than the average female, but I do sweat, and I was fine in the beginning of May. In the beginning of May, I was fine. By the time it starts to get to the end of May, the weather starts to warm up, and I was just like, I was over it. I was over it. Now, I had to keep walking around with this, which normally when I wear a regular deodorant, like my Dove deodorant, I never have to walk with my deodorant at all. I put it on and it lasts me all day. I had to keep walking around with this because I had to reapply it like midday after wearing it in the morning, after applying it in the morning, because again, the scent only lasts but so long, and you need to reapply it in order to not smell musky. That's just the word I'm just gonna say, or not smell musky. So I was just not a fan of that. Also, I considered buying like a smaller travel size one of this just to carry with me. The travel size would have cost me around $4 or $5. The problem with that is I could not get in Target because the lines have been ridiculously it was just a hassle trying to get a travel size of this, so I ended up having to walk around with this big old thing in my bag all the time just to reapply. So I was not a fan of that. But like I said, once you start wearing natural deodorant, you really become very familiar with your body odor. Which, to be really honest, I don't think my armpits, I don't think I've smelt myself like that in ever. Because like I said, I've always used a regular deodorant. I don't smell, I don't have body odor or anything, but this just makes you, it actually, it made me smell like what I would have expected to smell like it had I went to the gym and worked out and not use anything at all. That would be what I would, that is the stench that I was getting if I did not reapply using this. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I will be 100% honest, I am not a fan. I also did a lot of other research just to see if there are any disrupting effects of using an aluminum based deodorant. I really didn't find a lot of studies that said that aluminum based deodorants were dangerous in the sense of like causing like because a lot of times most people do use natural deodorant because they figured your armpits are right next to your your armpits are right next to your why is it so hard for me to say mammary glands? Mammary glands? Mammary glands. Your pits are right there next to your breast, and you know, sometimes people like to scare you saying that if you use a aluminum based deodorant it can cause cancer. Again, I never saw any research on that. They may have been slight correlations, but again, we all know if you study science, we all know that correlation does not necessarily mean causation. And there wasn't even high correlations with aluminum based deodorants compared to wearing natural based deodorant. So that's my tea, or that's my little science thing on that. As for whether or not I will be continuing to use it, the answer is no. I am not going to be using this anymore, at least not until the end of summer. I'm just gonna go through the summer going back to my Dove deodorant. I'm gonna go back to wearing my Dove deodorant through the summer because this prevents me from smelling, from sweating. I don't have to reapply it that much, and I noticed that as the temperature start to heat up, I have to constantly keep like putting more and more of this, and at the price range it's just not like within my budget to constantly be spending $15 on a deodorant when I can get one for $4. So that's that. So what I'm gonna do is save this for the end of summer, and then I'm probably gonna go back to wearing this during the entire winter, and for the summertime I will be wearing my Dove deodorant until then. But that is my little tidbit on natural deodorants. If you guys want to try them out, you can do that. Again, I recommend Native. I haven't tried that many of them, but like I said, from my research, Native seems to be the best friend. And if you're a person that loves the scent of jasmine, you'll like this a lot. They had a lot of weird flavors like lime and lavender and some other stuff. Those are not like, I don't want my armpits to smell like this. The best scents that I smelled that they had were the jasmine and cedar and the baby powder. I think they had one that smelled like baby powder and another one that smelled like lilac or lily of the valley, one of the two. But yeah, you could check them out. You could get them on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below if you want to try it out, if you're considering changing to a natural deodorant. If you're a person that doesn't really sweat that much, then I would suggest you try using this rather than using a aluminum based deodorant. And also, if you are a person that have irritated armpits, let's say you have eczema or any of that stuff, your armpits get really irritated, I will suggest you trying a natural deodorant. Again, I'll leave the link down below so you guys can try it out, and let me know if you know of any other brands that are interesting. I'll be definitely willing to try them after the summer has passed. I just can't walk around with sweaty, smelly armpits during the summertime. I just can't do it. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this was somewhat informative, and I hope I didn't make it too long. But I just wanted to share my little tidbit on that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye guys.